if anybody's a sports fan, you know that Oakland, a lot of teams are leaving Oakland, right? So the Raiders are leaving. The Warriors, this is their last season playing in Oakland and moving to San Francisco. And there's even rumors that the Oakland A's may leave.
Right.
So, but I didn't really think about it until you actually broke it down as far as the play behind that. So can you just talk about that? Because it's interesting and it also ties into your series. We're going to talk about the series as well.
Well, I mean, this is all, hearsay. But if facts sound like facts, then it's more than likely facts.
Yeah.
San Francisco is the most expensive place to live in America because of the tech world. It's literally booming. And San Francisco is full up. Like there's no more space. They can't build any more skyscrapers. They can't put people in the ocean. Like people can't start like camping on the bridge. And the next place over is Oakland.
Yep.
Now everybody's all caught up into the whole of what's happening, but they're not listening to the real reasoning of why. Like all of a sudden, the Raiders had a great season before Carr got hurt.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? The Warriors have never been as good as they are ever.
Yeah.
No team.
So why, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. So now you've got the Raiders going to Vegas. You've got the Golden State Warriors going to San Francisco. What happens to a community? What happens to a community that thrives on their sports team? We're not talking about people like our team, Raiders suck, but they still believe.
I think they have on fandom, like they have one of the hugest fan bases.
Something happened in the black hole. You know.
Yeah.
You know about it.
I was telling you before, like my dad's from Kingston, Jamaica. Favorite team is Oakland Raiders. Still to this day.
Absolutely.
Like, and I'm just like, what's the correlation? He's just like, he loved the ruggedness. He's from the John Madden coaching era.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, he just loved the ruggedness of the Raiders, that black and silver, man.
Absolutely. So I in doing the series that I was trying to produce now, I went to Oakland and I literally just went to everybody and I was just like, hey, how can you help me? What can be done? What are we doing? And then the story started to write itself. Like everybody wanted to help. And I found out that they were giving cash for keys. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
What's happened now is that the property values have went up.
In Oakland.
Tremendously. So now that these people are living in these homes, they can't afford the property tax. You see what I'm saying? And on top of that, businesses and things are being shut down. Somebody who was cool working at that Walmart's not there anymore. Now all these businesses and things that have to be shut down because of the tech world, which is fine, but the culture is getting taken away. You know what I mean? That's just like if you go to Philly and take Sylvester Stallone joint down, or you take the Bell. If you go to these places that are monumental, Oakland is where the Black Panthers started. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got a swag about it. It's something about Oakland. I don't know. I'm not saying it because I'm from there. It's the truth.
It's evident.
Everybody knows.
It's almost like a forgotten city in a sense because it's like we hear New York, we hear Miami, we hear LA, Atlanta. Nobody really talks about it.
Exactly. And what's happening now is that we didn't see the beauty in it until it was too late. Cities like that, cities like ours, we did not understand what it was because we got a beautiful transit system. You go to the bay, you can dock your boats. You go up the hill, you can ride your horses. Like all these things, cities don't have that. You go to some cities and they barely got a bank. You know what I mean? But we got all the stuff that people would need to thrive. And we were just, we as kids or as the adults, we were just living. But now these people have got a hold of it and they're like, well, what's the best way to get them out so we can move in? All right, let's give them some money first. So cash for keys. You're barely making ends meet. The schools are being shut down. So then people got to bust their kids out. Schools are literally being shut down for whatever reasons, whether it doesn't meet code or their kids aren't hitting the numbers. They're shutting them down. They're like, well, this school isn't producing. Right? So now you piling kids into one school or you sending them off. So we say, hey, listen, we'll give you I'm just throwing numbers, $100,000. And they're thinking, hell, I can move to Tracy or Stockton, Sacramento, and be good. That's a down payment and whatever, because I can't afford to live here.
Yeah.
So instead of holding on, and that's what, that's one of the character Chance in the series, that's where his heart breaks, because here he is. He has to leave Oakland, and we don't tell why, because of this whole thing. But he ends up in Miami, and he starts to do real estate. And he's like winning at real estate, like winning. But here he is thriving over here, but not looking back at the city that made him.
Right.
So what happens is his younger sister calls him, and there's a big thing happening where she's like, you got to come back. You have to come back. When he comes back, he's thinking he's dealing with one thing, but his sister is sick. The family's falling apart. The city's falling apart. They're closing his high school. And then the reason he left in the first place is staring him right in his face. You know what I mean? So all these things start to happen, and you realize that, like, hey, Oakland is just like everywhere else, except this is a place that we should have put up a little bit more. One of our havens. Like, come on, look at the people that's coming out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't just pop up. But when you get told that you're ugly or wrong for so long, you start to believe it. Like, I love the black hole, but when you think about it, it comes from a place of, if you don't give it to me, I'll take it. And I dare you to say something.
I read it.
Right?
Right.
I don't care if I lost or not. I bet you I'll whoop your ass outside.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
So it comes from, they say a diamond is made from pressure,
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like we're all diamonds, but not some people just didn't have that pressure to make them what they are. And now that we see that we can be, people are standing up and open. People are like, yo, whoever can, each one teach one. And now that's why I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, I got to give back to the city that gave to me.
So
it's interesting you said that too, because like, I remember Jim Jones, right, had said a while ago that Harlem, anybody's familiar with Harlem, some of the Oakland, as far as the history, everybody knows the history of Harlem, right? That's Black Renaissance, that's that's Langston Hughes, all of that. It's a rich history of Harlem, right? And so Harlem had a very rich history, and then the 80s, when the crack epidemic hit, Harlem was just ravished, torn apart, right? Torn apart, terrible. And now, if you go to Harlem, it's different. It's different. Like, you see people with their Yorkies, and they don't look like us. Like, you understand? A lot of people don't look like us. So I heard Jim, he was on the radio, and he was saying that, when a lot of the hustlers and guys that was really getting money, he was like, back in the days, you could have bought a building in Harlem for like $1. Like, they was giving properties away, but they wasn't even on it like that. They was buying champagne in clubs and all that. He was like, looking back on it now, he and his friends and the other people that he was around that he saw that was on a higher level than him, they could have really bought blocks. Those brownstones in Harlem going for $2 million, $1.5 million right now, right? So it's like, imagine if you bought a whole block back then, how much it's worth now. So the same thing. That's why
it's very
it's great what you're doing now, because it's like at some point we have to learn, right? We saw it happen in DC, we saw it happen in Brooklyn, we saw it happen in Harlem. We see it's going on in Atlanta. Every year, it's happening all over the country, right? So it's like, okay, how do we be proactive instead of being reactive? Because it's one thing to say, okay, look, it happened. This is bad. Like, I'm pushed out of my neighborhood. And that's one of the things with Nipsey Hussle. That's why we had to go to the Marathon store, because it's like, that's what he was doing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Take that money and buy the neighborhood.
Yeah, he was buying back. He was buying his neighborhood. Providing jobs, providing opportunities. So it's like when you see all these sports teams leave, and and now the town is going down, and that's bringing down the value, and then people are coming in, like you said, giving cash, and then it's all a bigger play, right?
Mm-hmm. Credit is king, because if me and three of my homeboys got good credit, we're good.
Credit is everything.
Credit is king. Then you take that one step further. Okay, how do we take that money and apply it to something? But let's not just apply it to something where we gotta be at every day. I don't want to have to, just because I stopped working, my money should not stop working for me.
24
that sounds stupid. So now if I want to go on a vacation, my money stop? And that's where folks start winning.
Money don't sleep, so it shouldn't.
They got residual income. That money is making money while they sleep. I don't care if it's a laundromat. I don't care if it's vending machines. I don't care if you only get an extra $500 a month. You break that down 12 times 5. You all right.
Gordon Gekko, one of the most legendary characters in movie history, has one of the most legendary lines in movie history. He says, "Money never sleeps." If anybody's not familiar, that's Wall Street. And Gordon Gekko was the star. If you haven't watched Wall Street, you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice. Yes. But that's such a short line, but if you really think, he's like, money never sleeps.
No.
If you really understand money, then you understand it never sleeps. Like, that's the key. You have to I remember Warren Buffett said something, he said, if you can't find out how to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die.